What is up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Why am I not in the middle of the screen? That is very annoying. We're gonna... There we go. That's a little bit better. Yeah, so, oh my god, yeah, so... As you can probably tell, if you have been here before, I've done a little bit of upgrading on the music and the intros and stuff like that. I just kind of wanted it to be a little bit of, just a little bit different and a little bit kind of just something new and stuff like that, like, right? I also have switched back to my older mic because the Rode Pod mic was just not working out at all. I was going back over some other videos and stuff like that, as I always kind of do, just to kind of see how they went and how they performed and how they sounded, especially with the new mic. Yeah, not good, like, at all. So yeah, just wanted just to kind of get back to a little bit normal, get the, that audio quality that I had, get that back and stuff like that. So anyway, look, just without further ado, I'm going to be kind of going over some stuff, we'll say, that's kind of happened in the last little while, because this is my first stream that I have done this year. And so, just kind of because of that, like, well, obviously, kind of Happy New Year to absolutely everybody who I haven't kind of reached out to personally and said that to. I hope we're doing well. We're 9 days out from Trump taking office. He was sentenced yesterday. Not really sentenced. He is now, of course, a confirmed felon, 34 counts. So that's always kind of good to see. But he doesn't have a fine, and he won't do any prison time. So that's not great. But it's, yeah, I mean, like, it's definitely, it's not great, but it is kind of a victory. Look, I don't personally see anybody kind of looking at what's after happening and kind of calling that anyway a victory, not justice. Justice was definitely not served, but I mean, we are living in unprecedented grounds. This has literally never happened before. Yeah, I mean, fucking just mental. There has been talks of the Supreme Court now going after same-sex marriage, essentially kind of doing what they did with abortion and kind of bringing it back to the States. And, I mean, if they did it that way, yes, obviously, look, at all of your blue states are going to be safe, but red states, you can't have a same-sex marriage there. Now, there is also, I believe, laws that, like, essentially, even, like, the darkest of red states, it basically forces them to recognize the marriage as a marriage, even if it happened outside of their state and stuff like that. So, I mean, like, it's not like the absolute... It's still bad. Please do not get me wrong. It is absolutely still bad, but it's not like the worst case scenario. But yeah, look, it's definitely not great. Ooh. Yeah, look, fuck, man. I also added... Sorry, this is a little bit of kind of housekeeping again. I also added a little bit of background music just to, like, the general streams and stuff like that. So please do kind of let me know how that is looking and how that's going and stuff like that. I am in the process of kind of replacing the kind of purple disco ball with the lights and stuff like that you can currently see. I'll be in the process of kind of changing that up now kind of fairly soon. But look, it's a new year, new look to the channel, new kind of sound effects and stuff like that. And yeah, look, I'm excited. I'm excited in a weird way as well, though, also to be kind of covering politics and stuff like that, because look at, yes, undoubtedly there's also going to be an awful lot more kind of happening and an awful lot more stories to kind of cover and stuff like that now that Trump is going to be president again. Obviously that's not what any of us really wanted. Well, I mean, it's not what any kind of left-leaning person wanted, or it's not what I or what any kind of friend of the channel would kind of want. But yeah, it's fucking mental, man. I got like an email or like a notification on TikTok, where I've been basically kind of granted like early access to the live thing, so I might be doing that. Might just be kind of going live and stuff like that, like, and you know, like have like the whole banner and kind of like, this is what I, you know, these are like some stances that I have, and join if you disagree, that sort of thing. You know, I've seen an awful lot of people doing that, and man, you know, one of the guys that I actually know, like, as in like know him personally, he started that up a couple of months ago. He started at like 100 and something followers. He's now well over 1,000. He's getting gifts left, right, and fucking center. Not that that's my kind of main goal. You know, I a long time ago kind of stopped hoping that this was going to be my, you know, extra bit of kind of cash coming in. Like, I'm streaming for fun, man. I'm not streaming so that I can be kind of, you know, the next fucking PewDiePie and this will be my job, you know. I mean, like, it's just not my goal. Yeah, I'm just streaming for fun. But look, it's the next 4 years are going to be really, really fucking tough, man. And we've 9 more days. We've 9 days left of somewhat kind of normal, before shit gets really fucking dark, and before shit gets really fucking, like, where news is going to get really difficult to cover. Like, it's really, really, really going to get difficult to cover. And I don't even necessarily fucking, you know. Anyway, look, I don't want it to be all kind of doom and gloom. I don't want it to be depressing and everything else. We are also here because I am doing part 3 of the playthrough of Final Fantasy X, so we're going to be jumping into that now very, very soon. Yeah, you know, it's a whole thing. So yeah, I'm not doom and gloom. I'm not dreading the next couple of years. I am dreading some stories and some topics that I'm going to have to cover. But yeah, we're going to try and keep it optimistic, guys. We're going to try and keep it kind of, you know, somewhat kind of happy and stuff like that. So anyway, with that being said, we're going to jump into yeah, we're going to jump into playing Final Fantasy X. This is going to be part 3. So behind the scenes, off camera, off stream, this is not going to be kind of put out. There was a little bit of dialogue that I was kind of missing out on. And we're in a boss fight now at the moment, so that's just to kind of catch you up on that. But other than that, and why am I there? Oh my good god. You're gonna need to be stretched. There you go. That will do. That looks good. Okay, so this is where we are. This is who we are. So I'm just about kind of, I've been kind of grinding at this. This is one of these, like, it's a repetitive boss, so he will just constantly keep fucking spawning those little kind of smaller enemies and stuff like that. So this is where we are at. So we're going to be switching, and yeah, we're just going to finish this up, and then we'll be kind of bursting on to the next little bit of the game, so we can drop that down to normal speed. I also just realized you couldn't actually fucking hear the gameplay, so haha, professional streamer. I'm gonna get so much fucking EXP for this fight, by the way. I have been doing this for quite some time. Do, 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 do. So, how are you, chat? Do you guys have any kind of, like, I don't know, New Year's resolutions or stuff like that? How has your New Year's been? How has your new year been so far? Anything else like that? Just kind of comment along, get a dialogue going. I think that was 4 times. I have to use it. Well, you don't have to use it, but like it caps out at 5, so I always use it 5 times. That's what I was fucking looking for. And these fucking visuals for originally a PS2 game, like that came out in 2001, like it, the visuals are fucking stunning. Do you know? Genuinely, like they are absolutely stunning.
When Sin attacked Zanarkand that day, I woke up in Spira. I kept hoping it would work in reverse, too.
I will defeat Sin. I must defeat Sin.
I was just fooling myself. Maybe it was that day, on the sea, under the burning sun. I started to give up hope. I was in a foreign world. I wasn't going home. This was my new reality, and I was stuck in it for good.
Greetings. I am the summoner Yuna. I have come from the temple in Besaid.
Oh, Milady Summoner!
If there is no other summoner here, please allow me to perform the sending.
Thanks, BTA.
Our loved ones. We feared they would become fiends.
Please, take me to them.
We'll go see what we can do to help in town.
Yeah, so we definitely do, guys. We have a much longer stream tonight. Obviously, I've started a little bit early, but we genuinely do. We've an awful lot of we've a much longer stream tonight. So, I also have a bit of a reaction video for you guys coming up because Cenk Uygur, right, host of TYT of the Young Turks, he went on to like Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA rally thingy that he did there towards the end of last year. And yeah, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the entire thing, but I have seen an awful lot of people kind of... Oh, they've been... there've been some spicy reactions to it, to say the least. An awful lot of it has been kind of newsworthy. Like, it's kind of come up on, like, my page on YouTube. There's been an awful lot of other people kind of talking about it and stuff like that. So, we'll definitely be kind of getting into that for sure. Mainly just to kind of see what all the fucking fuss is about, honestly. But yeah, so we have that coming up a little bit later. I'm gonna be, I don't know, man. I'll play this for like maybe like an hour or two, hour and a half maybe, and then we'll kind of move on to the politics stuff. Do yeah, that's kind of enough. That's what I was thinking. It's a little bit more careful when I am choosing these ones. Do. Sorry now, guys, because I do know at the moment this is not the most exactly exciting content in the world, but it does unfortunately have to be done. No, do not move to that location. I'm gonna miss one. I shouldn't have even really done that, actually. It's fine. Hmm. way too far. I'm actually going to skip him because I don't use Waka very often. So I'm just going to skippity skip on down. Literally just in the interest of just saving time on the stream, guys, you know? Might actually skip her as well just for now. Because I don't really use her that much in battles for the first little while. I'll finish then basically on himself because those are the three that I'm going to be kind of mainly using, we'll say, kind of going forward. Yeah, I suppose I should kind of just like explain a little bit, I guess, I suppose. What will be kind of, so each and every character has their own kind of like map, we'll say, on the grid that I'm working around here. This right here, that tiny little area, that's all Kimahri's. That's the entirety of the size of his grid. So obviously it's fucking tiny, which then also means that I actually don't, give me a moment now, guys, because I actually don't have, if I do this, there we go. I actually don't have the fucking background music in this, which might be a little bit... just a little bit better than just kind of what's going on, we'll say. I want to make sure that that is definitely, yeah, that's definitely playing. Yeah, so you can basically kind of choose any sort of way that he can go. I will always choose him. Oh, look at Mattress skipping that one now. Fuck me. I will always choose him to go up Titus's route. Because I just kind of think it just keeps him the best way balanced. You know, he doesn't get massively fucking overkill or anything, but like it just, yeah, it just balances him out a little bit more. Well, what I will do is he will start to go up Titus's until he gets to there, and then he'll go down here, which is on a different character that we'll be seeing a little bit later than in the game. That's the kind of route that I choose. It prioritizes strength, but he starts off from that kind of place of balance. So yeah, no, I just like it a little bit better when he goes down that route. There's a boss fight that's way later in the game where it is just Kimahri versus two kind of bosses. So getting a good strength and a good defense into him kind of early days, pretty fucking essential. So that's just always the route that I have always gone. We'll just do a quick save on that, just in case, worst fucking case scenario, there's a power cut or something like that, fucking touch wood, that doesn't happen. And all that progress is undone.
What's ascending? Are we going somewhere?
You truly are clueless. Are you sure it's just your memory that's the problem? The dead need guidance. Filled with grief over their own death, they refuse to face their fate. They yearn to live on and resent those still alive. You see, they envy the living. And in time, that envy turns to anger, even hate. Should these souls remain in Spira, they become fiends that prey on the living. Sad, isn't it? The sending takes them to the far plane, where they may rest in peace.
Summoners do this?
I think this was actually one of the first games that like properly like explained where the like monsters came from. That it's not just kind of, you know, accepted, you're in a world, there are monsters out there, go and fight them, you know, like it's properly explained. So yeah, I don't know if any of this, I know that there's a scene a lit much later. This will be like playthrough like fucking 15 or 16, which is copyrighted, so I am very sorry, I cannot show you that, otherwise the stream will just be taken down. There's nothing I can do about it. So I don't know, maybe you can listen to it. Maybe the audio isn't copyrighted. Why am I muted? Why the fuck was I muted that entire time? I don't know how long I was muted for. What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, it was just basically, I don't know if I've ever come across a game before where it's actually like properly explained where the monsters, like where they kind of came from and how they came to be. Like it's not just like accepted, you're in this world, there are monsters, go out and fight them, you know what I mean? It's not just like, it's not just there, it's not just excited, it just is what it is. I was not actually muted, I was looking at an entirely different thing. Oh no, that's probably fucked up my audio. Ah well. Bad streamer. But I'm professional though. Yeah, sorry, that's what I was saying.
Being a summoner.
That
Chose her own path.
I can possibly be kind of looking at
All we can do
playing the audio of that like barred scene.
till the end.
I don't know. I'll try. I'll risk it. I'll try it that way. And sure, yeah, we can kind of go from there then.
Until she defeats sin.
Oh,
I hope I did okay.
You did very well. They've reached the far plane by now, but no tears next time. Hmm?
I wished there would never be a next time.
Like
No more
again,
people being killed by sin.
I know I was kind of talking about this
No
the
more
last time
settings for you.
that I had done one of these kind of playthroughs of it,
It was strange
but
and somehow horrifying.
it's just such an interesting it's just such an interesting like way of doing a game like that like everybody else in the entire game, NPCs included, like know exactly like about the world and what's going on and everything about it, right? And they like know the ins and outs and how all this stuff works. But just to have that fish out of water where you've got your main character, the guy that you're playing as, who just has no fucking clue, and even that reaction that the NPCs gave him, like he has to be coming across as so fucking disrespectful, you know? And the reactions are just kind of like where the fuck, how do you not know this? Where the fuck have you been? Like, because like even the kids in the game, like we seen it when we were getting on the boat off of Besaid, like when they had left, like all the kids were crying, like because they knew what was going to happen. Like they knew that, you know, she's gone on this journey, they're not going to see her for months, if not even a year, kind of depending on. So it's yeah, it just has to just be such a weird thing for them, you know.
High Summoner O'Halloran used to live in the Kilika Temple here. Yep, Lord O'Halloran was once a great blitzer, you know.
Waka. Praying for victory's all good. But is this right?
Something wrong with enjoying Blitzball?
Is this really the time?
This is the only time. The players fight with all their strength. The fans cheer for their favorite team. They forget pain, suffering. Only the game matters. That's why Blitz has been around for so long. At least that's what I think.
Whatever you say.
Let's play and win, right?
Right.
Temple's beyond the jungle there. Let's go. What's up?
Yuna is saying she wants you with us.
Huh?
I want to ask you to be my guardian.
You know what? There's no time for jokes, yeah? He may be a blitzball whiz kid, but up against fiends, he's a newbie.
Fucking one shot at the boss, you disrespectful fuck.
What? What do you mean?
It's just that, well,
We're all going to the temple anyway. Can't this wait till later?
I'm sorry. I shouldn't have.
There's nothing to be sorry about. I'm just not really sure what's going on.
My apologies.
Kimari, why don't you use Lancet on it?
What's a lancet?
Normally, it's a skill that weakens enemies and heals the user. But when Alonso uses it, that Ronso can sometimes learn Fiend's abilities.
Hey, sounds cool.
Oh, holy shit. Are we overkill? Yeah, we are very much overkill right now.
Company, halt!
The fiend before us is Ochu, Lord of the Wood.
Way overpowered. Ah well. It is what it is. Yep, very overkill.
A summoner and her guardians. Very impressive.
Thank you.
So we should fight too.
We'll get our chance soon enough.
Young Crusaders gather around. We'll beat sin into the ground.
Yuna! Aeon!
Just who do you think you are? Go with the flow.
No, MathPig. Sorry, because I'm only after noticing your fucking comment there now. This is not FF7. This is Final Fantasy X. It's my personal favorite in the entire series.
You're not too bad.
And also, this looks better than the Stay-at-Home Wife game from before. Which was the Stay-at-Home Wife one? Was that Terraro? Was that the one with the Spanish fucking TikToker? I don't know. It's the only stay-at-home, like, that's the only one that could kind of fill that description. Yeah, you were in a kitchen making dinner and really bad graphics. Yeah, that was Terraro. Yeah, it was a little bit of a horror game that I just completely fucking failed at because I found out that there is indeed a sprint button and I did not know what it was. So just is what it is. So yeah. No, this is, yeah, it's Final Fantasy X. It's my absolute favorite in the entire series. I've played it I don't know how many fucking times. Just, yeah, fantastic game. Stick with what you know, absolutely. you know, 100%. If it ain't broke, don't fucking fix it. All that sort of crack. But yeah,
Race, huh?
no, it's
Think you can beat me?
it'll be interesting. Like, I know that, like, you know, probably if you, I mean, like, look, if you weren't 100% sure of the game, you probably don't know the story of this game, right? But like, it's just absolutely just fantastic, hands down, one of the best in the entire series. Which actually does slightly remind me, if there is anybody in the stream that knows the story, if there is any spoilers relating to like what's going to happen later in the game, not only will your comment be deleted, you will also be banned from the channel. Please just don't fucking spoil anything, because there are people who haven't played this before, and you know, are like wanting to kind of experience it for the first time. So just please don't. You've watched friends play it but never really paid attention. Yeah. So basically exactly the same as what you're doing now. Stole a potion. Well, that was... yeah, that's useful. But now you have pizza. Well, now I'm slightly jealous. Just Mathpick, actually, are you getting my fucking notifications that I'm going live? Because I don't know if anybody is actually even getting them. Like, I genuinely don't know.
Hope to break you in a little slower.
Being a guardian's tiring.
You handle yourself pretty well. You got talent.
Hey. So, what are these sin spawn anyway?
Fiends. They fall from Sin's body and are left behind in its wake.
Leave him alone and Sin comes back for him. You gotta be quick.
That moment when Waka told me I had talent in battle, I think that was when I started seriously considering becoming a guardian.
Oh. Go a little bit. Just go 2 times speed. You got it, but you had your handful of snakes at the time. But YouTube in general isn't giving me 90% of my alerts, even when the feed, the whole videos.
Hey.
I've been thinking.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Sin gets to don't die. Maybe Sin carries him through time, like 1,000 years through time.
I mean, like, all I can do is just kind of, like, you know,
Just pop back, see?
keep fucking streaming, keep
Amazing.
posting out, keep tweeting when I'm going to be going, because I know that you're going to get the tweet alerts anyway, you know.
Refusing to face the
All I can really kind of do at the moment, you know.
Sin didn't take Chapu anywhere. Sin crushed him and left him on the Jose shore.
Well, it's pretty much every Saturday night, right? Like, that's kind of like my day of when I kind of stream and stuff like that. So
One more thing. No matter how much you want,
always get the
no one
tweets.
can
Yeah,
take
so
Chapu's place. No
exactly.
one can replace Sir Jecht, for that matter. And there's no replacement for Lord Braska either. It's pointless to think about it. And sad.
I could never be with Chapu.
Not closer could hang out instead. Yeah, no, absolutely, man. You know, like, it's shit, like, as you know, we're on the same island, just completely opposite ends. So
Something had happened between them a long time ago. I was sure of it. Well, whatever it was none of my business, that's for sure. Best not to go there.
I've been watching Lord of the Rings all day. Sounds like a good way to spend a day. I shall be sure to let Kevin know. He will be impressed. Elena's with her mom this weekend. I'm sure he'll fucking hate me for saying this, although I don't actually know if Kevin watches these ones back. But Kevin's actually out on a fucking date at the moment. So go him, right?
You here to pray for victory too?
Us? Pray? Who needs to pray? The Luca goers always win.
Oh yeah? Then why you here?
We've been praying for some competition this year.
So what's your goal this time? You gonna do your best again? Ha! It's too bad your best isn't good enough. Why even bother showing up?
This time, we play
You
to win.
wired up the house for voice activation.
Ooh,
I'll send you a video. It's pretty cool.
remember,
That's
even kids can play.
yeah. You're doing what with your house what I want to do with like mine in the future. Like yeah, absolutely fucking
You know that team?
tech everywhere all the time.
They're as bad as my old man.
But Sir Jecht was a kind and gentle man.
Well,
Mia, I hope you're
why
watching.
cheat?
Tech everywhere in every room.
Even 10 years after he left. Just thinking about my old man got me angry. But maybe that was just my way of keeping him.
You added Bluetooth to your old 80s amp. Jesus. I just got the video there, Mathwig. I'll yeah. I've just gotten it. I've just seen it there that I have it there. I won't watch it now, obviously, but I will watch it after stream. This is a non-religious channel. We will not be praying, even if it gives us the option to. We will not be praying. Plus, I mean, like, from Titus's perspective, like, he doesn't fucking believe this shit. Like, he would just be praying just to nobody.
My name is Yuna, from the Isle of Besaid.
Donna. So, you're High Summoner Braska's daughter. That's quite a name to live up to. My. And all these people are your guardians? My, what a rabble. As I recall, Lord Braska had only 2 guardians. Quality over quantity, my dear. Whatever were you thinking? I have need of only 1 guardian. Right, Bartello?
When you say computer red alert, it becomes the bridge of the Enterprise. That is
There are people I can
fucking
trust.
fantastic.
I trust them all.
Genuinely fantastic.
To have so
No, like,
many guardians,
unironically though, like the whole kind of like
an honor.
smart home, it's exactly what I want.
Of course, I would never think of questioning your ways either. So, Lady Donna,
It's an expensive hobby, but
please leave us in peace.
You do what you want, Portella, we're leaving.
A guardian is someone a summoner can rely on. Someone she can trust with her life. I wondered, did Yuna feel that way about me?
she fucking did. Look at the head in her.
The faith is below. Let's do it.
The faith?
But first, the Cloister of Trials. Kamari, Waka, ready?
Strength, everyone.
You got 8 terabytes now, an old Ryzen 7 and a mini ITX board. That's yeah, building a home lab type NAS. That's fantastic. Fantastic. Do you know the the model number of the Ryzen 7?
Oh, sure, soon, like tomorrow.
Like, just for kind of reference, my CPU that I have at the moment is a Ryzen 7 5800X. That's the CPU that I'm kind of working with at the moment.
Where's Yuna?
With an IR blaster to control all the... Oh, that's
Then why?
absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Sounds genuinely fucking amazing.
So I'm not supposed to go in, right?
2700X. But yeah, look, I mean, like, for a fucking at-home NAS, that's, I mean, like, that's more than enough, right?
Hey, wait! Let me go! Go! Hey! What's the big idea?
Just a little game.
Huh?
Have you seen Mathwig? Like, obviously, I presume, Mathwig, you've seen the recent NVIDIA, like, conference that they had at CES this year, with their new kind of lineup of graphics cards and stuff like that. Dude, if the fucking 5070 that starts at $550 US, that's obviously MSRP, like, if that actually performs anywhere near a 4090 for like a third of the price, quarter of the price, some, you know, in some of them, I mean, like, that is like fucking game changer. That's actually game changer. You've got 32 gigs of RAM, which is enough for 4 or 5 virtual machines. Yeah, more than enough. More than enough. Even with that guy on stage thinking he was Captain America. Yeah, but I mean, like, to be fair though, like, it won't on real frames. Yes, that's the thing. But with DLSS 4, it's like, so I have DLSS, right? Because I have a 4070 Super now. I recently upgraded my graphics card, so I have a 4070 Super in my PC now. And that has DLSS 3, right? Which is like, for every frame, you get 1 AI frame. But with DLSS 4, it's for every real frame that you get, it's 3 AI frames. So you're getting an insane frame rates. Like, insane. But yeah, I was just going to say, check the small print. It says the DLSS 4 and the ray tracing frames are generated. But I mean, like, the thing about it is though, man, like, as long as it kind of looks like well, which, like, to be fair, like, an awful lot of them do look really, really well. As long as it looks okay, I mean, you know, you're gonna have like your tech YouTubers and stuff like that. Like, I know that kind of like will say like Linus Tech Tips, they're gonna have a video about it, right? And there's like other kind of YouTubers that are like going to be talking about it and stuff like that. But like, to your average gamer, like, to me, right, if I had waited and I gotten the 5070 and was using DLSS 4, like, would I be able to kind of tell the difference? Like, I suppose like that's what you're kind of talking about, right? So yeah. Oh, you fucking bastard. Ah. Man, Linus was at Linus. Oh my god, like, genuinely, I have so much envy and jealousy for Linus. He was at CES and has already gamed on a 5090. Like, just what a fucking position. Because as well as anything else, right, Linus is a, you know, like, he's a tech nerd, like, in this, like, you know, like, he just is, like, he's really, really into it. And I would be as well, to a degree. Like, I'm fascinated, like, by tech, like, and kind of, you know, super interested in it and all that stuff. But like, literally just like his name, clout and recognition and everything else, like, it's not supposed to be out for another month, the fucking graphics cards. Now look, obviously he couldn't do like his full kind of breakdown or anything else like that in the same way as he normally would if he was reviewing a different card. But like, just the fact that it was announced and like 10 minutes later he was fucking gaming on it, like, just unreal, man.
could be excommunicated.
D-Brand has paid for it all. D-Brand has sponsored
Just wait.
I don't know how many of their fucking videos. Jesus Christ.
Faith, remember?
You know, they've just pumped him full of fucking money.
That thing, right.
The Faith are people who gave their lives to battle sin.
That and the fucking Ridge wallet.
Their souls, willingly given from their still living bodies.
Huh?
Now,
But I don't know though, like
trapped in statues.
I would definitely like to think anyway that, you know, if my channel kind of like exploded, right, and I got kind of, you know, I don't know, a couple thousand subs, like, or whatever else, right, and like consistent kind of viewership and something like that, like if a fucking advertiser ever did kind of reach out to me, I definitely like to think that I just wouldn't take their money, just because of the type of kind of political content that I'm kind of covering and stuff like that. Like, it just gets so easy to say, oh yeah, well sure, he's bought and paid for, or he's not taking this particular take on a subject or on a position and stuff like that, just kind of because of who his sponsors are, right? Like it's just, and like there's like ways that you can be successful as a YouTuber, as a political YouTuber, as a left-leaning YouTuber, without kind of taking advertisers and stuff like that, because Secular Talk doesn't take any fucking sponsorships. Vosh doesn't take any sponsorships, and they're like probably the two biggest names in fucking, you know, like online independent news, you know. They let him loose. They let him loose in the factory after hours. You see that? Yeah, I mean, I don't actually think I saw that video in particular. They recorded him failing at basketball and posted it on Twitter. No, I definitely didn't see that one then. Definitely didn't see that one. But yeah. I don't know though necessarily that I would have kind of waited, we'll say, for the new graphics cards, because the motherboard that I'm on, it only supports up to AM4, and I can only imagine that the new cards are AM5, so like I probably wouldn't have like worked properly with it or have been compatible or whatever else, like, so. But they were there and they grew inside me. So like, look at, like, I am more than happy with the card that I have. Like, it's on some games that I fucking, we should hang out after and talk tech. Yeah, 100%.
What do you want
yeah,
to do?
like I got Final Fantasy 16 on my PC, and on the old graphics card, like, there's like an opening cinematic, and it's this like big fucking huge battle that's kind of taking place. It's literally the first thing that you do when the game opens up. And I was getting 26 frames a second. That was on the high end, right? And it was like, so it was going into kind of lower, right, which I think like most people would kind of consider like unplayable. I booted up the same game on this new graphics card. It hasn't gone below 100 frames a second. It is literally fucking night and day difference. I am overwhelmingly fucking happy with it. AM4 is still alive. You can put a, oh wow, okay, you can put a 5090 on that board. That's, with your CPU, you match the GPU perfectly. That's what, man, that, like, I've seen it a couple of times on like TikTok and stuff like that, like where they have kind of, you know, they have like a picture up, and they're like, comment your CPU GPU combo, and they'll kind of rate it out of 10. I've done 2 of them, and both of them have given me like a 9 or a 9.5 out of 10. Like, they are almost pretty much perfectly matched up. Like,
Off to Luca at last. The matches start soon as we get there. So
time I got ripped off on my GPU. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just bought it at the wrong time, man, because I bought my PC. It was during COVID, and it was during the kind of PC shortage, like where like almost nobody had any fucking graphics cards and stuff like that, or if they did, Jesus, were they shooting the price up for them because they knew that people would pay them. So yeah, so at the time, all I could kind of afford was I went from a 2060 Super to a 4070 Super. So I mean, like, look at the 2060 Super, man. It did me for almost every single game that I kind of had at the time, you know, and it was playing them really, really well. But you know, yeah, just kind of getting into like newer and newer titles and stuff like that. Like it was seriously going to start kind of struggling and stuff like that. Like, so I knew basically that I needed an upgrade. Now I did still get a little bit kind of shafted. A little bit on the new GPU because I got it from Amazon, and for whatever reason they are doing fucking import taxes on all like kind of like PC parts and stuff like that coming in. So
And if not,
I paid a little bit more. What I paid for it, right? You could buy a PlayStation 5 Pro
just leaving him in Luca?
with very, 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 very little change left over in what I paid for the new graphics card. But was it worth it, considering that it's going to last me for the next kind of 6 to 8 years? Yeah, absolutely.
It is mine, huh?
That card you can get for 150, 200 at the moment. Yeah, absolutely. When I got the new one, I brought the 2060 Super down to Kex and sold it in there. I think I got like 140 for it.
But Yuna seems to believe so. Okay. That's all you have to say?
There's a second. What would this second website be? Just out of interest.
Him and Yuna, I guess.
You're right, for once.
You can talk 350 for a 4070. That's insane. The PlayStation 5 Pro is twice
Become Yuna's guardian.
that. It's 2 times
Because Yuna can.
350, so I paid 700 for it. But
He hates his father. What he was, what he did. Do you really think she can possibly say to him, I want you to
that was on the fucking Black Friday deals and stuff like that as well. So like, and like it was on sale, because fuck me, I had that in my basket for months.
All right. I'll try talking to him after the tournament.
Be discreet.
I know. It's his decision. He doesn't like his father.
Are you actually able to post links? Although you're a mod, so you should be able to post links in here. But like even just like the name of the website even.
My parents. Can't say how I feel about him.
I was 5 then, so I remember mine a little.
Damn it. Sin just takes everything away from us.
The last little bit of interaction there, so we're going to quickly save. 140 from that. What's the name of the website? GPUused.uk, I think. Okay. Well, maybe next time. The only thing that I wish that I had done differently in this PC, and genuinely, like there is absolutely nothing wrong with it. Like genuinely, there is nothing wrong with it. The only thing that I wish that I would have done is I wish that I would have gotten the RGB version of the RAM that I have. It's just From the front, if you're just looking at it from the front, yeah, it looks kind of like all RGB and colorful and everything else. On the inside, yeah, not too much. So, yeah.
You can't do it, kid. But don't worry, my boy. You're not the only one. No one else can do it. I'm the best.
It's just so weird, like, even just kind of thinking about that, just like, why is that a thing? No 4070s at the minute, but they have a 4060 for 270. That's insane. GPU used.co.uk. Yeah. Well, I mean, like, there you go. If anybody is interested in getting a new GPU, you know, Mathpig is after getting the link there for it, so hope that was enough. You have to do it 10 times. Boom, we did it. It's my reference point for prices. Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to say. Isn't it so fucking weird that, like, almost unanimously across the fucking PC kind of gamers community, like, you have to have RGB. Like, it has to be colorful. Like, it's kind of weird. Like, there are obviously some people who don't really like it and who just want, like, a stealth build, like, or whatever, but, like, fucking Corsair Vengeance RGB 32 gig. Yeah, so I have Corsair Vengeance, just not the RGB version, and I have 64 gigs of RAM. So yeah, like, it's four 16s at the moment. So, like, I don't know, I might swap it out, like, especially if it got, like, cheaper and stuff like that. I might kind of swap it out, but we'll see.
How do you know that?
Sir Jack showed it to me when I was a child.
Probably get for about 50. Jesus Christ.
Called it the sublimely magnificent Ject Shot Mark III.
Let me give it fucking...
Stupid name, huh? You know what? There is no Mark 1 or Mark 2, you know? My old man said the name Mark 3 was just something to hook the crowd. He said they'd come back every night expecting to see Mark 1 and Mark 2. And they really did come back. I used to get
This is a 3080 Ti is going for 600. Jesus Christ. A 2080 Ti is going for 300. Fucking hell.
Is he alive, you think?
I don't know. But Sir Jack
4090
was
going for
my father's
1600. I mean, like, considering that I've seen them as high as fucking like 2.5 grand, that's
So,
insane.
if anything happened to him, I should think word would get around fast.
Uh-huh.
Jesus.
What would you do if you found him?
Who knows? I thought he died 10 years ago. Well...
I'm just looking at the website
after
there now.
everything he put Mom and me through. And because he was famous, I was always... Well, you should
With a
know.
1080 Ti, which is still like...
Your father's
Still
famous
a
too.
really good fucking...
Everyone in Spirit knows him, right?
Still a really good graphics card for 180 quid. Like, that's not
It is
bad,
hard
man.
to follow in his footsteps as a summoner,
Sure.
but the honor of having a father like him surpasses all that, I think.
Well, there wasn't much to honor about my old man, that's for sure.
You shouldn't say that about your father.
I got the right.
I guess you do.
Ow!
There we go. RAM.
Show me that move again.
Yo!
Hmm.
I didn't think my old man would come to Luca. He never did like watching other people play. But I couldn't help feeling something bad was gonna happen. And these feelings of mine are usually right.
We don't
Sure, I
want.
had told Waka I'd help him win the tournament.
We don't want the. Oh.
I wasn't sure I had it in me to play at all.
We don't want the monitor to turn off. You've seen that 4090. Yeah, I mean, like 4090 though, like for 1600, like that's really not that bad. Like genuinely, it's not that bad. And you know that it's going to get cheaper than that when the 50 series is actually out. You've got 5 computers at the moment. Holy shit. Jesus Christ, selling 3 of them. That's insane. You know, one of the guys in work is looking at kind of stepping into the PC gaming market, and yeah, he's I mean, like, he's like kind of, he's getting me to kind of like configure his rig, as in like get all of the parts for it and stuff like that, like, but like he's kind of said like, oh yeah, you know, that like I kind of be there like when he's kind of building it, and I'm like, yeah, as long as there's somebody else there who's actually built one before. It's like, holy shit. Like, I would know the first couple of steps. Like, I know that like you put the CPU in, then you do your RAM, then you kind of hook up your cooler, the graphics card is last. Like, I know that sort of stuff, but like after I kind of get all of that sorted, there is a brick wall where my knowledge begins and fucking ends, you know, and after that then I'm in no man's land, so, you know. I bought second-hand computers before Christmas for turnover. Buy them old and dirty and stick a cheap white case with a 1060 and boom. Yeah, look, I mean, that's not bad at all, you know. Because, I mean, like, you get a case, Jesus Christ, man, especially if you got them, like, used but in good condition, you get a case for, like, 50 quid, you know? So, invest that little bit into it, and sure, you're earning a decent out profit there, like, you know?
Without a doubt, they are the favorite this year, Baba. And after the way they dominated last year, it'd take a miracle for them to lose today.
You can say that again, Jimma. Look at the crowd, folks. Look at the crowd. Looks like all of Luca has turned out to cheer the goers on. They know, I know, and you know, folks. The Luca goers are number 1.
Yeah, it's like this every year, yeah? Don't let it bother you.
We will definitely be finishing up on the Final Fantasy X playthrough there fairly soon, guys.
Stop right there, goers.
And we'll be kind of getting into then the reaction vid that I have to kind of look at, but
Cause this year, us Aurochs are taking the cup.
What in Yevon's name were you doing up there?
We sure stood out, though. We were on the sphere. We were. Maester Micah is here.
Already?
The number 3 dot.
What's up now?
Maester Micah has arrived, that's what.
Micah? Maester?
Maester Micah is the leader of all the peoples of Spira. He's come all the way from Bavel. The tournament is being held to honor his 50 years as Maester.
50 years? Shouldn't he be, retired by now?
Hey, mind your mouth now.
Let's all go see him.
okay, I didn't actually know there was going to be a save point there. Right, so we're definitely going to be ending it there for this stream. And yeah, I have to go into We'll be ending it there. It's just me. Okay. So yeah, so that's gonna be it just for that playthrough of of it. But the next thing that I wanted to, yeah, so this is the video that I was kind of talking about there earlier, that I do kind of have to, or that I wanted to kind of respond to. There we go. So this is Cenk Uygur, so host of TYT and of, you know, like, seen as like ultra progressive, blah 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 blah. And he went on to Charlie Kirk's Turning Point USA event, right? That was happening towards the end of last year, and yeah, an awful lot of people have not been very fucking happy about it, and I guess we're going to find out why. Because I genuinely, as you all know, I will always tell you if I have watched a video beforehand. I have not watched this one, so yeah, this is your cue to go take a shit. Well, you know, yeah. So, oh god, do I actually have this fucking set up? Because I did rearrange my my stuff there kind of recently enough. There we go. There we go, and we're gonna make that a little bit bigger, and boom. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. This is what we're going with. This is what we're talking about. So he sat down with Charlie Kirk, and an awful lot of people have been watching this and stuff like this. It's not Steven's stream without one tech issue. You love to see it. You love to see it. No, it's just because I kind of rejigged an awful lot of the stuff, and I'm going to be totally honest with you, I didn't fucking I didn't test everything before I went live, so yeah, there we go. But anyway, yeah, I mean, like, let's just find out what all the fucking fuss is about, and find out what all the, you know, why people are so, not necessarily mad, but are talking about this quite a lot.
Some confusion of these divides of right versus left, populist versus corporatist. I guess a good opening would be, as a man in the progressive movement, as one of the leaders of the progressive movement, what do you make of this last year, the state of the Democrat Party, and kind of American politics from the more progressive left perspective?
Yeah. So, first of all, I'm proud to represent the left flank of the populist movement, and I think we need both flanks, so I'm happy to have this conversation. In terms of what has gone wrong in the Democratic Party, it's the same thing that went wrong in the Republican Party, but I do have to give you guys credit for a revolution well done. And what I mean by that is not a revolution against the Democratic Party or the left or the country, but a revolution against the establishment. So,
in what universe is Trump not the establishment? In what fucking universe is he? Oh my good God, we are off to a very bad start.
I knew you guys were for real in fighting against the establishment when I started going on right-wing shows and I would say something negative about Mitch McConnell. And when I did that in the past, what I would get back is, oh, no, Mitch McConnell's great. Pelosi's terrible, but Mitch McConnell's great.
Let's do that here. What do you guys think of Mitch McConnell?
All right. Yes, I love that. So, look, for my left-wing friends that are watching out there, they just booed Mitch McConnell. That's a great thing, okay? And
yeah, but why did they boo Mitch McConnell, though? That seems like it should be important. Why did they boo him? Did they boo him because, you know, he's gone against Trump and he's spoken out against him and he's not exactly been overly nice to him? Or did they boo him because, you know, he's a fucking war hawk, he's ancient, he's been in politics for like the vast majority of his life. He was the head of the Senate that was purposefully blocking bills that would have helped the average everyday American with countless bills. He has literally stopped them from voting on them. I mean, like, is that why they were booing him, or just because he went against Daddy Trump? Like, it's not just that they're booing him. You have to find out, you have to ask why they are booing him.
Let's do one more. What do you guys think about Dick Cheney? My left-wing friends out there, we have been waiting for the right-wing populists to boo Mitch McConnell and Dick Cheney our whole lives. Take the win. Take the win. Now, what we need to do in the Democratic Party is we need to do likewise. We need to have a revolt against the Joe Bidens, the Kamala Harrises, and the Nancy Pelosi's. And the Hillary Clintons, and now all of a sudden the Dick Cheneys. What are they doing on our side? Are you guys nuts? Right?
Jesus Christ. Just as a slight point of order, Matthew, can you just confirm to me that the audio from the video is coming through okay? It's coming through on my end. It's just out of this, it's like just out of one side of my headphones. It's not actually even playing through the other side. I have downgraded it to mono and the 2 light bars lighting up, so it should be okay. I just want to confirm that. But again, it's why are they booing them? Why are they against them? That matters. Of course it fucking matters. Like, you need to be, like, sure of why they are booing them. Because if they're just booing them because they've gone against the guy that they want to be president, like, that's not a good enough reason. That is cultish behavior.
I have to interject. When all of a sudden Kamala Harris is doing the Liz Cheney thing, I said, does she want to lose? I mean...
What's amazing is I said the same thing. Look, Dick Cheney polls at 13%. What lunatic thought it was a good idea to wrap yourself around Dick Cheney? I mean, when we started the Young Turks 22 years ago, longest running show in internet history, first ever YouTube partner with original YouTubers, one of the driving forces was get Dick Cheney out of office, right? And now for Kamala Harris to come full circle and say, oh, I've got 90 corporate CEOs backing me, and I've got all these executives on my side, and I've got Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney on my side, it was so counterproductive. It's not what the left wing stands for. It's not what the Democratic Party should be about. So the problem is the establishment. They are controlled by the donor class, and mainstream media is their marketing arm. They do not do news. They do propaganda.
Okay, so look, here's the thing. I don't actually disagree with basically anything that Cenk just said there. And you just barely heard the audience kind of start to kind of cheer and to applaud him. But the thing about it is, it's weird because he's speaking in English to an English-speaking audience. They understood what he said, but they're still talking past each other because they understood the words that Cenk said, but he didn't. But I almost guarantee you, if he was to fully flesh out that thought, if he was to fully flesh out that argument, and to say why the left is against the likes of Dick Cheney and Liz Cheney and all of the other people that he has mentioned, I guarantee you not one of them would fucking agree with them. That is the problem.
And one more thing. What I want you guys to recognize is that mainstream media you think is against you. You think they're against the right wing. But they also hate Bernie Sanders. And they also hate me. And they also hate the populists on the left. What mainstream media really loves...
Notice not one fucking applause. Not one person. I don't know how many people was in that audience. Shamefully, Charlie Kirk and TPUSA get massive crowds at pretty much all of their events, especially one that's held in this type of an area. It's obviously in like some sort of like a theater or an arena or something like that. They get massive crowds. Not even one cunt. Not one person was... Not one fucking person. When he mentions that they are also against us and against Bernie Sanders and stuff like that. Not one. Not even one.
Is the establishment and the elites. They're against all of us combined. And if we dare unite on...
So, just Matt Vegas just said, does it matter now why they dislike them? Is the good thing regardless that they... don't like them? Yeah, absolutely. Because if the reason that you don't like somebody is because of their policies, then fair. But if the reason that you don't like somebody is because they have gone against your dear leader, that is cultish behavior. And the reason that they don't like Dick Cheney and Mitch McConnell is because they have voted against them, or they have spoken out against Trump in the past. That's why they don't like them. It's not principled. It's not based on their policies. It's not based on what they have voted for or what they have voted against. Like 100%. And should we hold folk accountable now for their past mistakes? Not... In general, no. I don't think that you can hold people accountable now for their past mistakes. You know what I mean? Like, because... that kind of seeps into cancel culture a little bit like that. Like, and in general, I'm kind of against it in the case of if you tweeted out something 10 years ago, if you tweeted out something stupid a decade ago, should that kind of go against you now? Well, no, of course not. Because, like none of us are the same person that we were a decade ago. I'm definitely not the same person, and it's not just in like age or maturity or anything else, but in the things, in our opinions, in things that we thought. I'm not the same person that I was a decade ago. So no, I mean, like, yeah, that's just kind of silly. But I mean, like, should we hold folk back accountable now for the past mistakes? It depends. If they are repeating now the same mistakes that they have done in the past, then you can hold them accountable to stuff that they are doing now, and not even necessarily. It can build a better argument if they have done it in the past, but not, you know. So you have a different problem with the right now, but some goals will align. I take that as a win. Yes, but again, it matters as why. So the right thinks that they are against the establishment, but they've just voted for Donald Trump, who has packed his cabinet with billionaires and has set out that one of the first things that he is going to do is he is going to enact a $4 trillion tax cut for the wealthy. That is putting money in the pockets of billionaires. And who does he have in his cabinet? Billionaires. It is all insular. It's all in group. It's all the ultra wealthy working together to pass these things to benefit them. It is not benefiting you, us, the average people at all in any way, shape, or form. So, yeah.
Issues we agree on, they will be livid, and it'll be a beautiful day in America.
And
America.
I missed that last.
Issues we agree on, they will be livid, and it'll be a beautiful day in America.
And that is correct. I mean, you were kicked off of some of the cable news channels for having heterodox opinions on certain issues. So let's kind of look at the last couple of years. We can go back to the Bernie Sanders thing. Explain to us, why is it that right-wing revolution was successful, and the Bernie Sanders with 2 attempts actually won the primary in 2016, and he had it stolen. Again, stolen election talk can be a little controversial. They stole it from Bernie Sanders in 2016. Why was that revolution not successful?
Yeah, I think it was because Donald Trump was a celebrity and they didn't take him seriously.
But the thing about it was, though, I disagree with what Charlie said there. The Bernie Sanders revolution was successful. It was successful. It's just that the corporation behind him, the DNC, then stepped in and stole it from him twice. So one man is not more powerful, does not hold more influence than the organization that is backing or that he is representing in order to become president. He is not more powerful than that organization. That's the problem. His revolution was absolutely successful. Are you kidding me? There are so many more people now who are talking about politics, who are into politics, who are talking about, you know, why don't we have Medicare for all? Why don't we have paid family leave? Why don't we have like dental care and like your mental health care, i.e. kind of going to a counselor or a therapist or etc., etc. Why don't we have that kind of bundled into healthcare now as even a starting point? There are so many more people talking about that now. To say that his stance, that his kind of presence wasn't a revolution, I completely disagree with that. But let's hear what Cenk going to say.
So they made the mistake of giving him mainstream media coverage. And so they thought, and if you remember, Bill Clinton had this brilliant idea, we'll encourage Donald Trump to run on the Republican side and it'll destroy the Republican Party. How'd that work out for you, Bill? And so I remember saying at the time, no, don't do that. Don't do that. Because what I sensed was you need a non-politician to lead the revolt. So, because all the politicians, and right now they're having a conversation on the Democratic side about 2028, and the only people they mention are politicians. And my answer to that is, hell no, okay? Because the politicians are used to the corruption. They grew up in the corruption. They like the corruption. They got their power through the corruption. So I don't want that. I don't need that. And so when Trump came on, they gave him coverage. And here's when look, some people think that things changed after the election. No, I've been saying this from day one. And so back in 2016, actually 2015, after I think it was the second debate, when Trump was on stage and he said, I gave all these guys money and they did exactly what I wanted. At that point, everyone on earth, certainly in establishment and mainstream media, says he has no chance of winning, none. I went on the Young Turks and I said, he's going to win the Republican primary. Okay, because people hate corruption and they know it in their bones. Okay, now we will disagree on.
I was just going to say, to be maybe a little bit more fair to him, and just kind of, I haven't seen this, so I don't know what he's going to say next. To be more than kind of fair to him, he might go on to kind of say basically what I'm going to say. Yes, it is true that people, by and large, like across the board, across kind of party lines, don't like corruption. Trump is the most corrupt president that there's ever fucking been. Like, you look at the in trading, the fact that he had foreign dignitaries staying at his properties, the fact that which was then giving him fucking money, the fact that he is estimated to have gained over $1 billion whilst president. Oh, but he gave up his presidential salary, so we all have to fucking sit in his on his fucking lap and pat him on the back and tell him that he was a good fucking chap, right? Like. He is by far and away the most corrupt president that we've ever fucking had. I say we, that the US has ever had.
Is Trump really not corrupt? Is Trump really going to do the things that he promised? Is he really a populist? I would love to prove me wrong. I would love that, okay? And, my God, if Trump got money out of politics, one thing we're known for is credit where credit is due, okay? I would give him all the credit in the world. We're not there yet. We're not close to there yet. So when we get into the issues, hey, how about, and remember, guys, you also have donors. Beware of the donors. Don't forget that, and don't let your guard down, okay? But so on the...
I mean, I definitely would, he said it, but he definitely didn't use the type of he could have said that Trump is definitely like corrupt now and then gone on to give a few examples of how he is corrupt. But, you know, hopefully with the benefit of the doubt, not benefit of like a second term, like maybe that could be different. That's maybe how he could have said it. But yeah, I don't know. Like, look, if by some fucking miracle Trump did get money out of politics, would I come onto my channel and kind of congratulate him and give him that credit? Yes, absolutely I would. 100% I would. Do I see that as likely or as going to happen? No, not in any way, shape or form, but we'll see.
On the Democratic side, we have got to elect a populist. If we don't, we're going to make the same mistake we made when they anointed Hillary Clinton, when they anointed Joe Biden, and when they anointed Kamala Harris. So my Democratic friends, how many times are you going to lose before you realize that mainstream media and the establishment are lying to you?
And so is that energy forefront in the Democrat Party right now? And I'm not saying this facetiously. Read us into what the power brokers of the Democrat Party are saying. Are they saying we need to run more to the middle, that we need to embrace more populism? We're hearing some of the names, but what is the vibe of the people that do this for a living?
Yeah, so I can tell you definitively that the Democratic leadership and the Democratic establishment will never voluntarily go in a new direction. They will never voluntarily accept populism. They are built on donor money. They are of the donors, by the donors, for the donors. So what I need left-wing voters to understand is that they're never going to give you what you want incrementally. Martin Luther King talked about the tranquilizing drug of gradualism. Oh, if we just go a little further with Joe Biden, he'll give us another crumble and another tiny increment. No, they're going to just pick a new and improved corporate robot like Pete Buttigieg or Gavin Newsom, and they're going to come out with a new script, and they're going to say, I am now a populist, and they will wear flannel shirts, and they'll go to bar ribs, and then they'll sneak out and go to French Laundry, right? So don't believe the corporate robots. Remember how many times they lied to you. We need to do a populist revolt and pick a populist left-winger so we can have a real contest in this country. The establishment Democrats are never going to win. We need to go populist, and the way to do that is not by negotiating with them, it's by defeating them in a primary.
Okay, so again, I don't have too much disagreement with what Cenk said there. The only thing that I would have said is I would have asked for an example of who that is. So who would he like? So he talked about somebody who is truly a populist, who is going to fight for, you know, all of these kind of left wing ideas. But who is that though? Who is that person? You know, I mean, ideally, realistically, probably 2020 was Bernie's last chance of kind of successfully making it to president. The man is like 100 years old now, so he's just far too old to run in 2028. You know, like controversial, charismatic celebrity, the 3 C's, which is what Trump is. He is undoubtedly controversial. I don't need to fucking, you know, delve into that. Charismatic, I mean, not for like necessarily maybe good reasons, but I mean, he is funny, you know, so, and like he commands an audience, he commands attention, he gets people like to like hang off of his every word. So, you know, he's got 2 of them. And then celebrity, well, you know, more so now. I mean, he was like a D-list celebrity when he ran for president in 2016, but you know, so getting that same person with the 3 C's that's on the left, I mean, Jon Stewart is the obvious answer. Other than that, though, I mean, you're kind of in short supply. I don't really know who else you're going to want to get, but...
Democrat grassroots, are they invigorated towards that end? Because it seemed as if they weren't obviously thrilled about Biden or Kamala Harris, but you could say whatever you want about Bernie Sanders. I have massive worldview disagreements. He had a legitimate grassroots movement behind him of small dollar donors, of people that were working, of activists. Maybe I'm wrong, but it seems like that has disappeared a little bit in recent years, or at least has gone to sleep. Am I correct in that? And what would it take to awaken that sleeping giant?
Okay, to be fair, let's kind of get, you know, in the spirit of giving credit where it's due. To be fair, like, yes, obviously Bernie Sanders and Charlie Kirk are going to have massive worldview, like, differences and stuff like that. Like, but to be, like, I mean, he gave him, like, he very accurately said, yes, that Bernie has, like, a completely grassroots campaign, that he only had small dollar donations. He could, you know, like, to be fair, like, he very accurately portrayed what Bernie did. So let's kind of give him credit where it's due.
So there's a couple of different branches within the Democratic Party and the left, but the two most important ones are the populist progressive left, that's Bernie Sanders, and we could debate about progressive issues and policies on another day, right? But then there's the establishment wing. So the populist wing is already there. That base that was there in 2016 and 2020 still exists. And remember, guys, and I say this to you and I say it to the left wing, Bernie won the first 3 states in 2020. He was this close to winning until Obama and Clyburn called in all the candidates.
He's right.
And said, you all have to bow to Joe Biden. And then mainstream media then said, Joe Biden is the greatest. And they started talking about how Bernie Sanders, the most successful Jewish candidate in American history, had followers who were brown shirts and fascists and Nazis. Where have you heard that before? So whenever it's an outsider, all of a sudden mainstream media says fascist, even if it's a Jewish candidate, right? So they use the same tricks. And you guys have been canceled. I've been canceled. They do the same thing to both of us over and over.
No, not even remotely. Not even, nah. That is... Fuck, man, that's such a... Nah. I mean, where do I even start with that? I've been cancelled, you've been cancelled. The reason why somebody on the right might be cancelled is for incredibly different reasons why somebody like Cenk would be cancelled. Cenk, I don't know the exact reason why Cenk would be or has been cancelled, but I can imagine it's because he was too argumentative, or he said something that was a little bit more outlandish, or something that was too kind of deemed as too left-wing for the current kind of news program that he was on, and so he was essentially let go from there. He was told you won't be coming back onto CNN. I don't know if it was CNN, but just say and so he's using that as like, oh, I've been cancelled. The reason why somebody on the right would be cancelled, just off the top of my head: homophobia, transphobia, racism, anti-Semitism, like genuine reasons why somebody deserves to be cancelled. Like, the reasons are not the same. Like, this is exactly what I've been talking about. This is exactly the point that I've been trying to fucking get across. The reason, like, and it's why they don't like Dick Cheney or Liz Cheney or like any of the other people that he had mentioned. Why they don't like them? It's why do they not like them? They don't like them. That's fair. That's we all agree on that. But why? And it's the exact same thing here. He's been cancelled. People on the left have been cancelled. People on the right have been cancelled. Why? Why have they been cancelled? Because that 100% fucking matters. Like, there are justifiable reasons why somebody has been cancelled, and there are not justifiable reasons. So if somebody was cancelled, just for argument's sake, right, hypothetically, if somebody was cancelled because they are alleged to have said or to have done something, that's not a justifiable reason. If they have been cancelled because of something that they have provably in like tweet form or in text or on video or something along those lines, of something that they have provably done, like, those two differences are night and day. Those two justifications are night and day. They're completely and utterly different. So one case is justifiable, one case is not just. So to try and kind of say, hey, look, I've been cancelled, you've been cancelled, we're all in the same boat, we're all going to link arms and sing fucking Kumbaya around a campfire. That is, Jesus Christ, I now understand. I'm only about halfway through, but I now understand why people were so fucking mad about this. Holy shit.
over again. So the left-wing populists are ready, but we do need some more votes from people who used to be in the establishment Democratic camp. And why were they in that camp? Because they love corruption, they love war, they love change? No, guys. They were in that camp because mainstream media lied to them. And mainstream media told them, oh, Bernie can't win. Bernie was up by 12 points on Election Day in 2016. They said, he's radical. And they called you guys radical and said you couldn't win. They call us radical and say we can't win. But they're wrong. They're lying. So what I need Democrats to understand is stop believing in Morning Joe and The View.
Yeah, again, it's this kind of alluding of that they're all in the same camp. We've been called radical, we won't win. You've been called radical, you won't win. But the difference is that they did win. That's the difference. So, and again, it's why are they called radical? They're like, the why question is so overwhelmingly missing from this entire monologue that he's doing. And I think I seen like a tweet or a clip of him kind of defending his appearance on this and saying, well, if we don't at least talk to the other side, then what hope have we? Yeah, that's fair. That's fine. You can talk to the other side. But it's about how you come across when you talk to the other side. And it's about what points are you trying to make when you're talking to the other side. That's the point. That's the important bit here. Just saying, yeah.
And all the garbage on TV.
So that's a really good point about the media ecosystem. You guys are, without a doubt, the most popular, progressive, over-the-top, non-mainstream media sanctioned community. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, 27 million subscribers, 30 billion views. I think it's fair to say.
No, I'm not saying that sarcastically. I don't know of anyone that comes close. However, do you think there's a robust alternative media ecosystem on the left that is comparable to what's built on the right? I could say confidently what we have on the right is pretty impressive. We have from podcasting to videos. We don't rely on cable television. Who here listens to podcasts or social media for all your news? Raise your hand. I mean, every single hand goes up. So do you think the left has some work to do?
I mean, look, that... Am I kind of shooting myself in the foot by arguing against that point? Kind of. I would say that it is not necessarily a bad thing if you get your news from podcasts or from, strictly only online news sources. That's not necessarily a bad thing. But it matters how they deliver the news. So if I'm covering a story, I will always do what I'm doing now. I will play a video so that it can't be taken out of context. It can't be, I misinterpreted what they said or what they... But no, it is there. It is clear, plain as day. It is their own words is what I am responding to. Or if it's not that, I will have whatever source I am using, I will have it up on screen. I will have it blown up so that you, the audience, can read it. And I will kind of follow along with... I'll highlight it as I'm reading. There are ways of doing a podcast to deliver news that can be, it's not just kind of better or worse, is it trustworthy or not? If I was just to come out here and say, so this has happened in the news recently and it's bad and this is why it's bad and it's all just my opinions, that's not... don't take your news sources from anybody who just does that, right? If it's somebody who is reacting to a video or who is showing their source on screen so that it's not just the person doing the podcast, it's not just me, it's me and the source. That's it. That's who you can trust, because you can see the source, so you're not just seeing that I'm just going to the first one that actually agrees with me. It's it's a reputable source. There's just ways of doing that. But
in developing over the top media to be able to bypass the main networks?
Yeah, so we have TYT as a giant network, but we have a lot of great progressive and populist shows that are not part of TYT. That's in the left-wing ecosystem. So I don't think that that's the issue. I don't think that there isn't enough shows. I think that there's a couple others. One, on the right, you guys do a great job of coalescing, okay? So you do a couple of things well. You work together well, and you're more welcoming, if I'm being honest.
We're glad Cenk's here, right, everybody?
Whoa, what did he just say there?
Being honest. Well, you work together well, and you're more welcoming, if I'm being honest.
We're glad Cenk.
More welcoming to who? Who are you being more welcoming to? You're being more welcoming to what? People who already agree with you? Like, I'm going to maybe kind of just play it again just to kind of maybe see where he's going with this. But off the bat, that's a wacky statement right there.
Cenk's here, right, everybody?
And a lot of people on the left know this as well. If you agree with MAGA 5%, the answer you get is welcome, right? Come join us, right? On the left, if you disagree 5%, they go, get out of here, you're a right-winger, you're a fascist, right? But if you push enough people out...
No, they fucking don't. What are you talking about? No, they don't. Like, no, we absolutely don't. We don't push you out. We don't call you a fucking right wing. We don't call you MAGA if you disagree with us 5%. If you disagree with us on like 10 positions, we can talk it out. We can argue it out. We can debate it out. But I know that if I'm arguing with somebody who is nominally on the left, right, or who has some left wing positions, but I maybe disagree with them on even, 40% of issues. If it came up to a general election between somebody like Bernie Sanders and Donald Trump, I know who they're going to vote for. So I don't have to get them. I don't have to make them agree with me 100% because I know who they're going to vote for. It's about getting the people who disagree with us 95% over to our side. That's what this notion of, like, you know, are you pro-choice? Yes, I'm pro-choice. Are you pro-trans people? Yes, I'm pro-trans people. Are you in favor of gay marriage? Yes, I'm in favor of gay marriage. Are you a vegan? No, I'm not. Get the fuck out. That where does that happen? Like, where does that occur? That, like, it just doesn't. He's just making shit up at this point.
Out and you guys welcome enough people in, eventually you win the popular vote. That's what I warned them about, and that's what happened, right? So, look, I propose simple rules. The 3 rules of the internet. Rule number 1: when we disagree, we fight. There's nothing wrong with that, right? Now, rule number 2 is afterwards we must have a beer together, okay? And rule number...
Nope. Nope. No. I don't agree with that. I don't. Nope. Not all the time. Not all the time. Not when you are talking about... So... Only recently I actually said this, and it's not that I regret saying it because I did genuinely mean it. So I had the TikToker Rob on my channel. We streamed and we had a lengthy conversation. The stream was about 4 hours long. We had a really in-depth, long conversation. We covered a lot of different topics and stuff like that. I can absolutely see myself sitting down and having a drink with Rob, even though we fundamentally disagree on some issues. He was nice, he was cordial, it did not get into fucking name calling or anything else. It was no screaming, no shouting, no fucking anything else like that. There was no animosity. We disagreed, and we very firmly disagreed. Nobody changed their minds, but it was still a good conversation. But the point is, we were civil, and so we can have a conversation. Can you imagine if you were talking with the concept of going and sitting down and having a drink with somebody who was hardline MAGA as a trans person? Can you imagine sitting down and having a drink with somebody who doesn't think that you deserve fundamental basic human rights in the same ways that everybody else does? Can you imagine sitting down with somebody after you fully transitioning, you've gotten all the surgeries, you've done your hormones, you've done absolutely everything like that, and they are still dead naming you, they are still referring to you, if you were a trans woman, they are still referring to you as a man, and of course vice versa. If you were sitting down with them and you were having a drink with them, if you got up to as a trans person, if you got up to pee, would they judge you based on what bathroom you went into, because they don't think that if you're a trans woman you should be going into the woman's bathroom? Can you honestly imagine sitting down and having a beer with that person? It just doesn't fucking happen. It is unfortunately rare when you have fundamental disagreements on principal issues where you can sit down afterwards and have a beer. That is entirely dependent on who they are as a person and on the type of engagement that they deal in. So, as I said, with Rob, we talked about abortion, we talked about religion in general, we talked about some social issues, we talked about drug use. And even though we disagreed on every one of those four things, I can still see myself sitting down and having a pint with Rob, because he's a nice chap. He is a decent human being. I disagree with him fundamentally. But he's a decent human being. If you are a trans person and you are sitting down with a transphobe, from your perspective, they are not a decent human being. And so you would never sit down and have a conversation with them. You would never sit down and be civil in that scenario with them. There's somebody else might view Rob from the stream that I did, or like, you know, from any of the TikToks that he's done, or any of the lives or anything else. They might view him as, I would never sit down with him. This is what I'm saying. It is all so subjective. It's my personal experience with them that I would sit down with them. That's not to say that, you know, something might happen now that might fundamentally change that, and I might never sit down with them. But for right now, for my position right now, I would. That's not to say that everybody would, but I would. But a trans person is never going to sit down with somebody who doesn't think that they are a mentally well human being. They would never do that, because what's in it for them? A night of insults and badgery and of slander and insults. I fucking hate this idea. It's possible sometimes, but it's not possible all the time. Ludicrous.
3 is, for God's sake, when we agree, let's unite. So, for the left,
that statement in its isolation, I don't disagree with, right? So, if you had somebody like AOC or Bernie or someone like that signed in, that was drafting a bill to legalize single payer healthcare, right? A universal healthcare, socialized medicine. If like that was what the bill was going to do, if it passed, if somebody on the right, if a Republican congressman or senator signed on to that bill, fine, happy days. Yes, let's unite. Let's unite and get something done, get something positive done. But simply just saying let's unite, well, like if we're to just say that everybody just has to unite, well, people on both sides are going to be then dropping fundamental issues that they believe in. And which ones do you drop? And who drops more? No, sorry.
We have too much division. We almost never unify. I don't mean with the right. I mean internally. The left loves to attack one another. I love you guys on the left. I love you. But every once in a while, when we get a yes...
No, I'm sorry. Even though that is literally almost what I am doing now, because Cenk undoubtedly is on the left, and so am I, and I'm attacking him right now. Yes, I am still freaking out. You missed a monologue there, MathPig. Even though, yes, I am now currently going after him, it's not because, like, oh, you don't agree with me 100%. It's because you're being fucking stupid right now. That's why that's why I'm going after you. The left does not have this, like, catastrophic problem where there's just constant infighting. Like, that just doesn't happen. Did he say things I don't like? Yes, he did, and I'm shouting at him for it.
When we agree, can we please unite? And the second thing we need is for the old, I'm being honest, and on average, not everyone, of course, but for the older Democratic voters, please turn off your television sets. They're lying to you. They're tricking you. They're trying to get you to vote for corruption. They're trying to get you to vote for policies you don't even want. So if we can do those two things, then we'll be in great shape.
So I'm not sure how you'll feel about this, but there is a consensus, not a consensus. There is a belief with some people like Seth Moulton and others that some of the embrace of what we would call wokeism or whatever was a reason why Democrats had a less than desirable election outcome. Do you subscribe to that belief? How do you interpret that when some people say we need to kind of shed away some of the
Jesus,
more
what the fuck is he going to say to this?
elements of the cultural implications of politics outside of economics, like the Seth Moulton belief that where he says the trans stuff hurt us?
Yeah, so look, guys, on that stuff, I've been having these debates internally with the left wing. And I explained yesterday, actually, on the Young Turks.
He just said, can we fucking unite where we agree? And now he's acknowledged that he's debating people on the left.
Look, everybody's positions are in a different part of the left-right spectrum and on different policies. So I can name you policies where you say, oh, that's pretty moderate, right? I can name you policies that you're not sure is left or right wing, but that is definitely populist, right? But some of my policies might be called extreme left in America. So, for example, I'm massively in favor of gun control. You told them not to boo, but I knew they'd boo on that one.
They paused to their
yes.
their respect. You were asking for it, Cenk.
Yeah, I did ask for it. So my point to my left-wing allies is, am I going to emphasize and insist and demand on my gun control policies when we're in the middle of a national election? No, because I know those are not winning issues at this point. I've got more work to do to convince the American people before we get there. So if on trans issues or any other, or crime issues, etc., if you really believe in the most far left positions, as I do on gun control, for example, that's okay. But you've got to know what to emphasize and what not to emphasize. And so if you say, no, I'm going to die on every extreme hill, well, you will. Electorally, politically, you will die on that hill. And then you lose on all of your issues, because it's sometimes a binary game. Certainly elections are. So you got to know what to convince the American people of and what to hold your ground on. And the number one thing to hold your ground on is constitutional rights. So I'm going to do some...
Like the Second Amendment.
He's so far not answered the question, by the way. But given what he has said, I would kind of like in the sense of, you know, there are certain issues that you will die on the hill of if you keep fucking pushing them. I don't want to be uncharitable to him. I'll wait until his answer fully plays out and then I'll go. Look, okay, sorry. Just by the way, just as a second point, I also now see another reason why people didn't like Cenk's appearance on this, because that clip of him saying there are certain things that we need to kind of you know, that if it's a constitutional right that we like need to keep it in there, and then Charlie saying, like the Second Amendment, that's going to get clipped and it's going to get shared around, and it's going to be like, it's just going to show him and therefore the left in a bad light. And so but okay, I'll wait until he's finished his answer.
So, no, I know. So, guys, look at that. We totally disagree on that issue, but we just...
You were asking for that one, I'm sorry.
No problem. No, but look, but that was an important moment, because we totally disagree on that issue, but we just shook hands anyway. And you know what we'll do afterwards? We'll have a beer!
All right, okay. So he's not fundamentally answering that question. Look, okay, at the risk of being uncharitable to him, given that he had said that there are certain issues that you need to kind of leave die on a hill in favor of getting elected and then maybe revisiting them afterwards, making that point specifically when he was asked about trans issues, it implies that he is saying that Kamala Harris focused on trans issues, and she absolutely didn't. She didn't bring them up once. She was asked in an interview about them, and it was just a bad answer that she gave to that question, because what she should have said, and this would have been truthful, is the whole kind of trans prisoners who are going through corrective surgeries when they are in prison, that was enacted under Donald Trump. That is the best possible answer you can give to that, because it swats away any sort of pointed attack that can be made against you. So she didn't mention fucking trans people. She didn't mention trans people. She didn't mention cancel culture. She didn't mention fucking Latinx. She didn't mention fucking BLM. She didn't mention all of these things. She didn't mention any of them. She didn't mention any of them. Beck, your arrival is both cherished but also about 10 minutes too late, because, and the only reason that I'm saying that, maybe not 10 minutes, about 5 max, point was made a little bit earlier in the video that, you know, that you even though if two people have like a fundamental disagreement, they should be able to shake hands and have a beer afterwards, right? That was the point that was just made. And as I said to Mathbig, I went on a massive fucking monologue. If you are a trans person and you are sitting down with somebody who doesn't believe that your existence is valid, that doesn't believe that, or is going to constantly fucking dead name you, or is going to, you know, criticize your choice of bathroom when you like go pee inevitably during a fucking night's drinking, would you honestly sit down with that person and have a drink with them? No, of fucking course you wouldn't, because it's ludicrous. Oh, okay. Mathbig saying it's a right-wing audience. Having that debate right now is not going to help why he's there. Avoiding it to continue the benefits he's saying could also be a reason. It could also be a reason, but the point is, if that is the reason, I just don't know why he showed up, because all he's done right now, if you think about it, in his main criticisms, the only level of criticism that he has done in the entirety of the 17 minutes and 50 seconds that we have watched of this video, the only criticism that he has levied is towards the left, not towards the right. So I just don't know why he did it, because he's on the left, but he's criticizing the left in front of a right-wing audience. I get it's not there to be a debate, or like it's not a debate stage at that current moment, but at the same time, like, why even show up then?
So, you know what it is when you disagree on something and then you fight about it and then you have a beer afterwards? That's called America. So let me see if I can get agreement. And this. I don't know which way this is going to go. Okay. So when we talk about trans issues in terms of sports, I know we have massive disagreements. Okay. And on one of those issues, professional sports, I agree with you guys. On high school sports, I don't. We'll go get into a bloody battle on that. Okay. But I want to ask you guys something. Do you believe that trans Americans should have the same constitutional rights as all Americans to employment, health care, and housing? Constitutional rights.
Mild applause. Mild at best. Almost zero. You listen back not even 2 minutes ago on this video when Charlie Kirk said about the fucking Second Amendment, and it was uproar. It was genuine reaction. That was like mild at best. And this is exactly the fucking point that I've been making. A trans person, believe me, a trans person is never going to sit down with somebody who is MAGA. They're just never going to do it. Never going to do it.
Do you want me to translate? Well, there is no constitutional right to housing.
Okay, so I hear you. What I got out of that, guys...
I'm just trying to be the interpreter.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of applause and there was some consternation, right? I'll take it. It's a start. So, guys, when we can even disagree about what's constitutional, Second Amendment, housing, etc. But just let's treat everyone as Americans. And I say that to the right and I say it to the left.
For sure. So we're going to go a little overtime because I know the boss here. And there's two things. I want to ask about free speech, and then I want to try to say, can we get one or two action items that this community can get behind in this new Congress and this presidency that are populist that maybe we can push for and advocate for? Now, I want to try to maybe see if we could brainstorm that together. Number one, the first on free speech. Do you think that the left, and you are an exception, is ready to embrace a robust, spirited culture of freedom of speech where disagreement is welcome, where you're able to have these kind of dialogues and forums? And I think it's a tragedy. It seems to be that more the right is willing to do it. Prove me wrong if that really is the case.
Yeah, I'm trying to remind the left of who we are, because the left is supposed to be for freedom of speech. The left needs freedom. If you're gay or you're trans or you're Muslim or you're someone that was otherized at some point in your life, you need freedom more than anyone else does. You need equality more than anyone else does. You need justice more than anyone else does. So I mean,
he's saying the most basic fucking shit, and Charlie had to fucking raise his hand to... But again, he's only attacking the fucking left. I just have no idea why he went on here. I just cannot wrap... I can't wrap my head around it. I just really can't.
If you want those things, you've got to reciprocate. So you've got to not... I want you guys to not assume that we hate you or that we're evil or that we're bad. But if we're going to do that, the left wing has to do the same. They have to assume that you're not evil, that you don't hate them, and you're not all of these things. So I know from time to time we'll still get back into the battles and we'll still call each other names, right? But overall, if we can begin to not hate each other, and so when we disagree, let's try two more real quick here. When we disagree, can we agree to not hate each other? All right, excellent. And when we have these fights, to Charlie's point, can we, for the first time in my lifetime, begin to actually listen to one another? And Charlie, I'll give you credit on this, because one of the turning points, if you will, in how I started to view the right wing is when you came on the Young Turks at the RNC, and we started talking about banning private equity from buying residential real estate.
Which I totally agree with. That the young people in this audience should not have to compete against BlackRock to be able to own a home. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, that's fair. It's a point of agreement. I don't have any argument against it.
We've got a populist plank on TYT.com that's one of the 6 pillars, right? And all my life, I go on Republican shows, I go on right-wing shows. When I say something against the bankers, they're like, no, the bankers are great, the bankers are great. Oh, I was so frustrated. And now, all of a sudden, we got the right-wing populists saying, let's ban the bankers from buying our homes so they don't drive up the prices. Yes, yes. The left, take yes for an answer. Take yes for an answer. And look, what I said online on X was, at least.
And this is like, I guess kind of maybe like part of what I was saying. Like, if the left and the right agree on one issue, then yeah, keep going for it. Keep, fight for it then, and you'll have a united front. That's not necessarily a bad thing. What my major kind of problem with it is that, oh, Jesus Christ, like, on some issues, you're like going to get maybe kind of like 1 or 2 who are on the right who might like sign on to a bill or who might vote in favor of a bill. But if it's not properly debated and argued out and stuff like that, then that bill is just going to die. And I like, yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I genuinely, I just don't understand why he went on to this show. Why he went on there. I just don't understand it. And considering that the only group that he has attacked is the left, I just don't get it. Like, I'm not saying that it would be a better thing to do than to go into the lion's den of the right wing and attack the right wing, because that's not going to work out very well for you. It's going to go into a debate very, very quickly. You're going to get the audience doing absolutely nothing but booing. But at the same time, like, there is a way of doing this that is, as Mathpig and as Beck, who has been saying in the live chat, is getting people to at least listen to you and the baby steps and the smaller bits. But you're not going to do that attacking the right, because they already are. Chenka's not going to do that attacking the left, because they already agree with all of the things that he is saying when he is attacking the left. They already agree with you. You're preaching to the choir. So I just... There's a way of doing it that I agree with. It's not just that. There's a way of doing it that is productive. And there's a way of doing it that is not just kind of pandering to the people that you fundamentally that you fundamentally disagree with, and that, like, you would never vote for their candidates. There is a way of doing that where you can get people to listen to you, and where you can have like little bits of disagreement, but there is a conversation to be had. But going out there and just saying things that they already agree with so that they applaud you, so that you feel better, that's just like, what did he... Okay, so here's the thing. So Mathpig, you obviously kind of... And I'm not attacking you, of course I'm not, and like, you know me and stuff like that, but given that you have kind of seen, maybe not all, but a good chunk of what he has kind of done here, what has he accomplished? Like, what has he done in terms of kind of getting people onto his side? What has he done? What's been the benefit?
At least what we got out of this election is we're no longer in an establishment prison. Now we're in the populist woods, right? And if you say, yeah, but we're going to fight in the populist woods, yes, but at least we're all human out here. We defeated the corporate robots, and we've got more fights with the corporate robots to come. But out here in the woods, when I see you guys, I don't hate you anymore, right? I see my fellow Americans.
Oh, I don't know, man. If you're just playing devil's advocate, Mathpig, that's like totally kind of fine and valid and everything else. That last statement there, I'm going to predict that within 5 years, Cenk is going to have a turn to the right in the same way that Anna Kasparian has, in that she is left the left and she's kind of more so like centrist or independent now, or any of these sort of things. I think that I just kind of just based on the feel that I've got, not only just in that last statement, but in the entirety of this video so far, I think that's coming. I think it's coming.
And so in these populist woods, we'll sometimes have skirmishes, sometimes we'll have battles. But the main thing I'm trying to drive with the 6 points of the populist plank: higher wages for Americans, time off for moms after they have a baby, anti-corruption,
totally
anti-war. The reason
audit the Pentagon.
Oh yes. So the reason I picked those is not because they're the most left-wing positions, because those are the positions we all.
He mentioned about anti-war, though. Trump is completely and utterly pro-war. I mean, Jesus Christ. Like, there I don't know if I can do this. There's like a minute left, but I'm genuinely I'm in pain.
All agree on, right? And God help the establishment if we actually work together to do those things. And finally, to the heart of your question, Charlie,
Becca's just said something, and yeah. See how we're all the same, but we're not all the same, though. That's the point. We're not all the same. We not only have fundamental. We not only disagree fundamentally on these like basic issues, but we are just absolutely not fucking same. We are not the same. We're just not. This is just insanity. I am genuinely predicting within the next 5 years that he's going to have a shift. Maybe not to the right in the same sense as like Charlie Kirk is currently on, but I definitely think that he is going to have a shift from left way closer to center, if not definitely right leaning on some things. Genuinely.
Proposed on X. Cut the Pentagon, make sure the generals cannot work for the military-industrial complex afterwards, and free Edward Snowden.
I agree.
So it's beautiful that we have populist agreement on the right and the left on those issues. So I'm asking you guys, let's make those a reality, because right now, a lot of my friends on the left don't believe you. They think, no, they can't possibly be telling the truth, right? No way they're going to cut the Pentagon. No way they're going to have a conflict of interest rule for the generals. No way they're going to do any of this, right? Prove them wrong. Prove them that you are actual populists, that you do mean it, and that we can work together to get those things done.
Cenk, thank you so much. Guys, that was great.
Yeah, no, I mean, there would be absolutely kind of pretty much no kind of benefit in kind of delving into that a little bit more. I've kind of pretty much said everything. I've said it about 5 times now. I don't know why he went on to this. I don't know what his goal was in kind of doing it. I don't have any sort of idea or iota or anything. I have no notion of why he did that. But look, it's done now, and there it is, and everything else. Yeah, I don't know, Beck. I don't know. I mean, I suppose it is technically possible that he might be pandering for votes, or he's working on votes for the next US election. I suppose it's definitely possible. MathPig predicts that in 5 years that I'm going to change sides. That's not going to happen unless I smoke half of my brain cells away, which is not going to happen now because I haven't smoked since June. So, you know, I don't fucking know, man. I genuinely, look, the benefit I guess now is that I fully understand why people were so fucking mad at Cenk for going on this and doing this, and why there was so much kind of controversy around it and stuff like that. But oh fuck, man, yeah, I don't know. Jesus Christ. Right, look, oh my god, yeah, I've been streaming fucking 2.5 hours. I'm gonna leave it there, guys. Yeah, I'll just leave it there. Look, yes, thank you absolutely to everybody who has shown up, who has commented along. MathPig, it's been so good to kind of catch up and everything else. Beck, it's always good to see you. MathPig, you have been like commenting almost every fucking eight seconds. It's been fantastic. Oh wow, that's long for you without it crashing. It is a little bit, yeah. So, you know, new PC equipment though, so thanks to that. I'm not even going to repeat that, MathPig, but you can see it on the screen. Yes, thank you so much to everybody who has shown up. Like, subscribe, do all of that YouTuber bollocks, and I shall talk to you in the next one.